Welcome back, friends. Today in this video, I'm going to be continuing a part 2 video in my journey of drawing an original image of Jesus. So this is going to be the same steps that I followed in the last video, and hopefully I will continue to make progress. In order to become an inspired artist, I have to learn how to draw from my own images. And I've been learning to draw from references the past couple of years. However, drawing from reference is only going to help build my visual library. It's not going to inspire me to become an original creator. So this year I decided I'm going to paint original artwork, and this way I can challenge myself to become a better artist and hopefully inspire others. My challenge in this video is going to be drawing 3 original versions of Jesus. I'll start out with a first version, and then I will draw 3 images that will hopefully improve my mistakes. Then I'll draw a second version and do 3 more from reference. And then lastly, I'll draw my final version from my imagination. So stick around if you'd like to see if I made any progress. And I only have one rule in this challenge, and that is that I spend 1 hour on each drawing, and that way I put the same amount of effort in each of them. Let's take a look at my first version from imagination. In this one, I used what's called the dry ink brush. And by using that, it turned out really dark, and I wasn't able to really get good shading. So that was the biggest mistake in this image. And I ended up spending more time as usual on the hair. I need to practice a lot more. And that didn't give me enough time to work on the eyes and the facial features, which I didn't get much detail. Now let's take a look at my reference, my first reference. This one here, I did switch to the Procreate pencil, which is a good pencil for sketching. And I picked out an image that had a lot of shading on one side of the face. And it turned out to be, well, it didn't turn out very well. I ended up spending more time on that shading and it didn't get it right. So really my overall lesson was to pick easy images and work my way up. So that was a good lesson learned on reference number 1. All right, here is reference number 2. This time I did a lot better with the hair, especially at the bottom. I improved. There were some mistakes. The beard is much darker. I could have softened that up. The nose shape is quite a bit off. I could have spent more time there. And overall, if I recall, I was probably pretty tired and exhausted this day. Here is reference number 3. In this one, I did a different technique with the bottom of the hair. I used more of a sharp ending, which turned out okay. And I did some improvement in the beard shading this time, and I was overall consistent in the amount of time I spent on the overall features, and I probably could have spent a little more time on shading this one. Here is my imagination version number 2. It felt like in this one, I was recalling a lot of my lessons learned. I spent an equal amount of time over all of the different features between the hair, the eyes, and the nose. I even had time for shading. And with the hair, this time, I ended up tucking it behind the shoulders, and that ended up saving me some time so I could spend more time. And overall, I think it turned out pretty nice. So we'll have to see how it compares with the other originals at the end. Here is reference number 4. In this reference, I had to zoom in on a really large image where it was a full picture with him. And so it turned out to be kind of distorted. And you can tell the hair is much bigger than I wanted it to be. And I think that also I learned that I might have had another rough day. It was kind of a rough week. So I really didn't have as much to pour into my artwork. And I think it really showed in some of these reference drawings. Here is reference number 5. This one I've actually drawn before. It's the second time I've drawn it. And this is another one of those 3/4 portraits. And what I've learned is it is completely different than a portrait that is straight on, a full portrait. And I could probably do an entire series of doing just those portraits because the dimensions and everything is much different. However, it did turn out to be really nice. It's one of my favorites, and I'll probably end up sketching this one again. Here is my reference number 6, and this one turned out to be a total surprise and distraction. During the middle of my drawing, I had a couple visitors, and why don't you take a look on what they wanted to do. My youngest, she wanted to take over my drawing, so she made her own interpretation, and my eldest wanted to show me how she was going to style her hair.
How does he look?
Okay, my hair all
He looks mad.
I know that he is mad.
Jeez, look at those eyebrows you gave him.
And then
This is a hair video, and all what you have to do is watch this all day.
It was a fun distraction, and I'm happy how it turned out, and I was just happy to get through the drawing for the day, and it was a pleasant experience. Here's my last drawing from my imagination. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the results. I did consistently spend the same amount of time. In fact, I spent about the first 20-30 minutes sketching out all the features, and then I spent the second half really softening up and improving the overall look. So I am also happy with how the hair turned out at the bottom. I think that was the best one that I've done so far. So let's take a look at our comparison. So I've drawn one each day for the past couple of weeks, and I'll ask, do you notice any improvement? Here's version 1, 2, and 3. What I've learned over the past couple videos is I really haven't had a lot of time to improve. In fact, I liked version number 2 more than number 3. And it just depended on the day. If I was having a really good day, my artwork turned out really good. But if I was having a day where I was tired, I was just kind of suffering through it. And as I look back 6 months ago, I noticed some of my earlier drawings and they were much worse. So what I've realized is I do need to look at my progress over the longer term, and hopefully for some of my next videos, I'll continue capturing these and create videos to really show the progress over 6 months instead of over just a couple weeks. So until then, I'm planning to continue to make more drawings just to document my progress as I go, and hopefully this inspires you to get out there and create some of your own artwork. Until next time, so long.